Hello, everyone. It must be the third Tuesday of the month because guess what? We're here with a girl chat with our favorite naturopath. That's Dr. Alisha. As usual, we go on two Facebook Lives. We're here on the Artisan's Palette Facebook Live page, and we're also over here on Dr. Alicia's Facebook Live page as well. So hello, everybody over there. If you're not following us, hi Cindy. If you're not following us, please also like our page over on Artisan's Palette. And same here, if you're following us on our Artisan's Palette, please go over and like Dr. Alicia's page as well. She's got some interesting content on her Facebook page that I enjoy very much. Okay. So
real quick before we get started,
absolutely.
Since Miss Cindy popped up,
okay.
Do you know Cindy Kelly?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
So, Cindy, you fit right along the lines of this topic about cleaning your health and cleaning your colon.
Yes.
She's the hydrotherapist extraordinaire.
Yes, she is.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Okay, so we're going to have a chat kind of like a topic and then my opinion, your opinion on it. There's never any right or wrong because I think, and this is a lot of times what I tell my customers as well, we can have 10 people here and there's 10 different opinions and these are just data points. So it's up to you to look at these different data points and collect them and then find out what is the right answer for you.
I like that.
Yeah. So our first topic is what is detoxing versus cleansing? Did you want to start with that one? Because I agree actually with the definition that you gave with detox versus cleanses. I think it's a lot, when you say this, I think the term is used interchangeably. I think people think, oh, I'm going to do a cleanse, and then they're not doing a cleanse, or vice versa, they're doing a detox, and they refer to it as a cleanse. So the definition, if you want to go ahead and give the definition of it, what you're defining it as, and then we could talk about why I think maybe where our differences might be.
Great. So I think that one thing just to set the context, because our mission here is to educate people, and so just breaking down root words. In school,
yes.
We don't really, unless you're maybe in certain classes, you don't always learn the Latin or maybe how
the origin of the word.
Yeah, and how things break down. So let's just say detox. Well, tox sounds like toxins. So it's really simply just helping your body get rid of toxins that might be accumulating. Now, taking it into a broader context, some people have issues with maybe alcohol or medication abuse or substance abuse. So those are toxins, but then there's heavy metal toxins, there's mycotoxins. So there's so many toxins in our world.
There are so many, and there's so many ways in which we can get them. So one way in which we are getting toxins in the body is from the foods that we're eating. There's no question about it. So the mycotoxins, there's crops like almonds that are super high in mycotoxins. Coffee is super high in mycotoxins. So the choices that we make every day, if we're not educated on what these words mean and how we're exposed to these toxins, then we won't even understand what a detox is.
Yep, right? So when we think of the word detox, we're also thinking about our organs, our detox organs, which I feel like we're so fortunate. We live in a society that is really now becoming so much more educated, I'm finding at least. And so our detox organs are our liver, our kidney, our colon, our skin, and our lungs. Those are our main detox organs in which we eliminate toxins.
Where would you categorize the brain in that?
Well, I would say maybe it's like, the master organ, perhaps helping facilitate some of all of this. I think that might be a great question, almost for like a chiropractor. I met with a chiropractor yesterday, and she's actually doing a class, the gut-brain connection.
Right.
So as far as detox organs, it's not in that, but yes, it does help facilitate.
Yeah,
Anything?
I think it would be in line with it too, because right now they're talking, you've got leaky gut, you've got leaky brain, leaky heart. They're even talking about leaky mouth.
Haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah. And so there's so many components, and then I think part of the issue is just taking one component and thinking I'm just going to detox that without having a wider view of what is it that you're detoxing and what's the goal? What are you trying to do? So I think first identifying what is a detox, what is a cleanse, then identifying what are you trying to do during this process, because people can just jump into a detox and it can be so damaging to their body that they don't know what they've done. And these are some of the issues that I have with detox and cleansing. So so you're defining as a detox is something like you detox the liver, you detox the kidneys, or you detox, what was some of the other organs? The colon, you detox from, okay.
And those are more from, I guess you're not detoxing the colon per se, but that's a modality that facilitates detoxification.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you have to first identify what are you detoxing, right? So tagging certain toxins in the body.
Yep.
And then how do those tags then become encapsulated? How do you then go in, encapsulate these tags? So how do you even do that process?
Yeah.
And then from the tags, how do you excrete them, right?
Right.
And so the colon would be the excretion process, but you would have to know how do you do that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's different forms of detoxes. You want to detox different parts of the body for sure, but everything has a timing and a place. I think we have a question here.
Just hey, how you do?
Thumbs up for that one. We do good.
Oh, detox from vaccines. Oh, okay. How do you detox from vaccines?
Okay.
That's a loaded question.
Yes, that's a whole other discussion, I think, because that is first we need to first understand what is detoxing, what's the purpose of it. So again, if you're taking vaccines, then how do you detox from it? And then how do you understand what is a cleanse and why are you doing a cleanse? But before we even set this up, because we're continuing to talk about it, the problem is it's a mindset, right? So if you're out and you're eating industrial food, right, and you're eating all the fried foods, and you're just continuing to take in all of these toxins, then if you're in the mindset to think, oh, I think I'll just go and do a liver detox for 3 days and drink this or whatever one you mentioned here, and then the problem is, what do you go back to? Right? So you've done your 3 days, you've stressed that organ, whichever organ you want to detox from, and then if you're not understanding clean eating, you're just going right back to eating all the foods that you just detoxed from.
Right.
And that's the same thing with a cleanse. Yeah. So I've been on my clean eating journey for 7 years, and some of you might be surprised to learn I've never done a detox. Okay? I've never done it. I was going to do a pretty in-depth detox in 2019, and I haven't gotten there yet because I just don't feel like my body is ready.
Yeah.
Okay? Or maybe it's me. I'm not ready, but my brain isn't ready for it. So I think it's really important as we talk about detox versus cleanses to understand that, and then we jump into an advanced question like this from I can't read the name here, but the question is, how do you then detox from vaccines? Okay, well now that's another type of toxin that we put into our body, either willingly or unwillingly, but then we have all these other things that we're putting in too.
Right.
And we're not even talking about the toxins these are not even environmental toxins or the toxins from the clothes or just from what we're touching. So, I mean, it gets really in-depth and intense, I think, very quickly.
Yeah. And no apology needed, by the way, Laraz. Hopefully we're pronouncing your name right. No apology needed. It was a great question.
Yes, it's a great question, and we need to answer it for sure.
Yeah. And
just so know that this is the right form to answer it at this point.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I can't really speak from experience. I see pediatrics, and normally it's the pediatric population or adolescent population who are getting the vaccines and who are having the detrimental side effects. But to be honest with you, my practice is a case-by-case basis with children, mainly with skin and digestive issues and other issues like that, but not necessarily addressing the vaccine. So I'm also just not, it's not my area.
Not the right.
But I think one day it will be, you know, when I'm at that phase of, you know, I'm not a mom yet, so once I get there, then I'm going to have to know.
Yeah, you're going to find everything out. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so definition 1 is you're detoxing from a major organ.
Yeah.
And then, so I think we can agree on that, but I also think that you can also detox the brain. There are different detoxes that you can go through. And then what are you defining as a cleanse?
So with a cleanse, that could be, it could be using supplements to help your body eliminate a little bit better. So that's where I think this does get a little bit murky, because some people do, and I will admit sometimes I am guilty of using these somewhat interchangeably, but they are two distinct processes. So a cleanse might be also that you're eliminating, kind of, in my opinion, going on the clean eating route, like maybe that we're abstaining from caffeine or sugar, some of the more abusive type things that maybe aren't an actual toxicant per se, but not ideal for us.
Right. I think cleanses, people generally go on maybe a bone broth cleanse or a juicing cleanse, and they do it. It generally lasts 3 days, a cleanse, sometimes 5 days, depending on the protocol. And I agree, a lot of times it's in conjunction with something else. Either take these pills and these will help, you know, with this cleanse, or take this powder and this will help. Meanwhile, in the pills and in the powder, there's full of junk, and it does completely opposite of what you think it's going to do. But the problem is the same, whether it's a cleanse or a detox. The problem is the same. You have a mindset that you're going to go into something that somehow magically everything is going to be gone from your body, whether it's a detox or a cleanse. And then if you're not clean eating, you go right back to what you were eating before, putting all the toxins back in. And so what did we do? We stressed the body again. For what reason?
Yeah. So I think right now I do have a couple patients. Can you do a cleanse while nursing is another question. I would not advise that. I just think that, you know, through the breast milk, you're going to transmit different things. And so I would not advise doing a cleanse. I don't know, in my opinion, just...
I think it depends on the cleanse, right?
It does, yeah.
I think if you're going about it and saying, you know what, I'm going to abstain from caffeine, I'm going to mostly consume bone broth from a pasture source where I'm going to be getting my nutrition from, and then I'm going to eat very simply. If it's protein, pasture protein. If it's vegetables, it's what's in season, and I'm going to do that for 3 to 5 days. Then nutritionally dense food can definitely accommodate somebody who is nursing, for sure. Yeah. But if it's something drastic, like, oh, take this kind of product that has all industrial ingredients in it and then stresses your whole system, for sure not. It's not even worth it.
Yeah. And probably good just to check with your doctor.
Yeah.
So with a cleanse, I think it's a great, you know, take the holidays, for example. I think even the best of us probably let in some things, maybe not you.
Not me. We'll understand why later. It's not about perfection. It's definitely not about perfection.
Yeah, we're all on our own journey. So
Correct.
the holidays for many, I'm going to say, not all, but many.
Most, yeah.
There's things that sneak in there that I think kind of January 1st is often that reset button. And so really my motivation for today's talk was really just to say, have this be a reset. You know, if you've got the sugar back in or the extra carbs or whatever it is that happened over the holidays, turn over a new leaf, and yes, go not only clean it up now, but like you said, keep it clean.
Yeah, I think I'm just writing a blog on this now, actually, and it's about how I don't make New Year's resolutions, and how my New Year actually doesn't start January 1st, how it starts February 1st, and how I've been doing this for many, many years now. And I think what ends up happening is what happens, there's a mindset January 1st, and so prior to January 1st, there is a let loose wild, it's the holidays, my mindset, I can eat whatever I want, or not what I want, but let's just eat to, feeling like you're going to explode. And I think it starts on Halloween. I think it starts Halloween, and then goes into Thanksgiving, and then continues into Christmas. And then that mindset for those at least 3 months has really been lackadaisical. And then to somehow think the light switch is going to get, or the switch is going to get turned on, January 1st, and then we're going to do a 180 and follow this and just be. The problem is the mindset's not there, and the education isn't there.
So why February 1st for you?
Just because I want to buck the trend. I just don't want to do what everybody does.
I was like, oh, maybe Chinese New Year?
No. Is it February 1st?
It's sometime in February.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know. But maybe they got it right. Maybe that's what it is. So
and Carla agrees with you.
Okay.
She too never starts on January 1st. Okay.
Carla. Yay, I knew I liked you for a reason. Okay, so anyway, setting those trends, I think it also sets up people for when you set up not what you said, but just in general, the expectation is so high, and then when we don't meet it, or we're setting up unrealistic expectations, because we don't know our own, like just on our own, like, oh yeah, I can do that, or no, I'm not going to do that, because it's like, it sounds really good, January 1st, I'm going to do this, and I'm telling you, I see it in my store it started January 10th. You can see it in the thought process. I've been so good. This isn't that bad. I can have just, one piece of it, and you could see that convincing them, because somehow they're deprived. They feel deprived. And when you feel deprived, clean eating isn't about deprivation, right? A diet is expected in your brain that you could start and stop anytime throughout the year is a diet. If you really understood clean eating, you would understand this is a lifestyle change. That's why I don't need to set resolutions January 1st. It's not necessary to do that, because my mindset has already shifted.
Yep. Yeah. And like you said, that is a journey.
Yes.
It reminds me, my husband and I just joke, and my other girlfriend who I work out with, of the gym. The gym is always busy the first couple weeks of January, and then really near the end of the month, it's like, where did everybody go?
Yes, because it's setting unrealistic expectations on yourself, not really knowing, not being honest with yourself. So I think if we have a better education and mindset on these things, we will be able to make better resolutions and actually keep them. And this is a good segue actually into what does it mean, the clean eating, what does it mean? Before we jump into that topic, does anybody have any questions on detoxing versus cleansing, or want to add anything? If you do, go ahead and put them on the channels in the questions, and we'll come back and refer to it. But as we move along here, so this is an interesting question. What does eating clean mean? Because once again, I think if we had 10 people here, they would each give a different definition of clean eating, just like what is the definition of detox, what is the definition of cleanse. And so I'm pretty proud with my course called Get Food Smart, Get Clean, that I'm one of the only ones, if the only one, that actually defined clean eating. And so, but I'm curious, what is your definition? Because I think 90% of the people think they are doing some form of clean eating.
Yeah, so In my opinion, I think
Mhm.
clean eating is staying away from genetically modified foods.
Okay.
That it is also, I'm going to rely on my notes here,
Okay.
in general, maybe sugar or alcohol free. Um, and and then foods from the earth that aren't comes from an animal product, if somebody were to lean that way.
Mhm.
And then food allergens, and or common food allergens if they don't know what their food allergies are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a pretty good definition, but it goes into telling people what to eat. And then as soon as that happens, I think somebody's going to, put their back up against the wall, because ultimately we don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the course, Get Food Smart, Get Real, the definition of clean eating is never telling you what to eat. We never, ever tell you what to eat.
Yeah.
It's very simple. You have a plate in front of you, and you put stuff in the plate, and you're about to put your fork in food and put it to your mouth. You control that, right? Fork to mouth. Okay. So now just look at the plate and say, how did this food get to my plate? That's the definition of clean eating.
Yeah.
That's the journey that is clean eating, right?
Yeah.
So if you say, oh, well, I got takeout, that's how it got to my plate. Okay, dig deeper, right? Where did they get it from? Dig deeper, and you keep digging, and those are the questions. That is the journey of understanding truly what clean eating is.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a mindset of awareness. It's not about deprivation.
So I'm going to guess, do you go out to eat much?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
And I only have a handful of places where I do go to eat, that I have deemed that are at where I'm at currently.
Do you mind sharing a few?
Down in San Diego.
Anything local.
I love to cook. So,
so if you're local, you're like,
yeah,
I might as well just.
I'm cooking, so, I know where the meat is coming from.
Yeah.
I know where my vegetables are coming from, so we get a box from Harvest to You delivered to our house. We have, at the store, we have different, vendors that come in that are part of, like we sell Primal Pastures meat. So all of that is super important to understand where the food is coming from.
Yeah, I feel like San Diego has a lot better options than we do.
There's a lot of good options. Yeah, there's a lot of good options. So I hope that answers some of your questions for clean eating. If you guys have questions, please drop them down in the comment bar,
and
if
we'll they want to learn,
answer.
Yeah, and then I am a cleaneater.org.
No, IamACleanEater.com is where I blog and where I put my videos, and a lot of free resources on clean eating. And then if you actually want to learn and take a course, it is called Get Food Smart, Get Real. And it's getfoodsmart.com that you could go onto the site and you could learn. It's a self-study course, narrated. It's an online course. Again, it's never telling you what to eat. It is simply explaining to you where the food is coming from.
Awesome.
Okay, one other thing I want to mention here, when you gave the definition, when you said part of your definition of clean eating and then staying away from GMOs, of course, I agree with that. But the issue that people don't understand is there's really only 10 GMO crops. Okay, and a lot of those GMO crops, like corn and soy, are 2 of the 10 GMO crops, are in a lot of items. Obviously, I've banned that from my store, Artisan's Palette, but I mean, that's something that you have to learn and understand. So a lot of times people will pick up a product, let's say like olive oil, and it'll say, oh, non-GMO. And it's like, well, olives were never GMO'd.
Yeah.
Right? So it's part of deceptive marketing. So you have to understand what are the 10 GMOs so you can understand what the label means.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, GMO stands for genetic modification organism.
Right. Okay. So, what else should be cleaned up for better health in your environment? Okay.
So, I think it's important to, we've really gone into depth of what's going in.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to just think about, well, what's around us. And so for a reminder of people thinking about their household cleaning products, those can be very toxic. And I don't know if it was since we last met or if I mentioned this at our last thing, but I saw something online that a restaurant worker died from the cleaners.
I think I heard that too. Yeah.
And so what happened was it was a restaurant on the East Coast. I think it was a major chain. And a prior employee, had put something on the floor. It hadn't dried completely, I think. So one cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
And then the manager comes around and doesn't know that this substance A is on the floor.
Okay.
Applies a different cleaner.
Oh. And has some sort of chemical reaction?
Has a chemical reaction that creates fumes that actually sadly took his life.
Ooh.
And so it's like, we don't always think about that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So household cleaners is an important part. Your personal care products, because that holds a whole host of
huge.
Different endocrine disruptors. And I wrote aromatherapy agents. And what I meant by that, my good friend, bless her heart, I went into her bathroom and I'm like, oh, it kind of smells good. And there's the darn Febreze plug-in. And I didn't have a heart.
No.
A lot of times I do have a big mouth with but it's because I care.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So when I say aromatherapy agents, if you're using things to make things smell good, and if it's not coming from like a straight, good, clean essential oil, it's probably some toxic stuff in there.
Right. Synthetic.
And again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you really like that, suit yourself.
Yeah.
So aromatherapy agents, so even just thinking about your bathroom fresheners, air fresheners, anything that you, candles, perfumes, just anything that has a smell to it.
Ask again, how did it get the smell? How did that smell come into this? And similar to the food.
Hi, Jamie. EMF. So I'm kind of been on an EMF kick. And EMF stands for electromagnetic field. So the Wi-Fi coming from our phones, and so many people put their phones on their body. And it's just, I do call people out. I'm like, hey, if I were you, I would not put that thing, and I would not wear an Apple Watch. So EMFs, and then plastics. I was really happy. My friend did say that I made a difference. That same friend, that I've preached so much about not putting, your food in plastic containers. So she went out and got all glass.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So maybe the aromatherapy.
The little changes. Yes, the little changes. So I agree with all of that. There's so much, and when we're talking about this could be so overwhelming, right? Because we're going through and say, oh my God, we were just talking about the toxins of all the foods, and then how do we detox from that? Now we're talking about all the stuff around us, and how does that impact us? Because all of it impacts us. Yeah. And one thing I want to add to this is, like I said earlier, I've been on my journey, my clean eating journey, for 7 years, and it's about a mindset. It's about awareness. It's not about telling somebody what to eat or what to do. It's just understanding how things got there. And about a month ago, it started to dawn on me the similarities between fast food and fast fashion, and how that impacts our clean eating journey. And so now, if I wasn't aware...
Can you just tell the audience, they might not be aware of fast fashion?
So fast fashion is basically anything you buy from H&M, Gap, Walmart, Costco. I mean, it's the same as fast food. Like, it's everywhere. It started in the 90s. And it's one of these things that you go and buy some sort of article of clothing, and it's not expensive and almost viewed as disposable. Like, oh, I bought it, but I don't even know if I'm going to wear it. You know, and that's the mindset shift again of not understanding the impact of what went into to make that, the impact of the lives behind. So if any of you out there are listening and are claiming to be an environmentalist, if you are an environmentalist, you would never eat fast food or not be a clean eater, and you would never buy fast fashion. Yeah. And that's the point of the awareness of all of this for what we want to do. It goes so much deeper.
Yeah, there's a great documentary. Do you remember the name of it?
Is it True Cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go watch True Cost on Netflix probably or wherever.
Or Amazon. Maybe it's on Amazon.
Yeah, something. True Cost is a great documentary that educates us about what she's talking about on fast fashion, and it's horrific and sad.
It's horrific. And actually, if we go back to the discussion of GMOs, cotton is one of the 10 GMOs, right? So now most of the clothing that is all cotton is GMO cotton, and that's going onto your skin. So now how does that impact us? Yeah. So the two go together for sure. So I would add that. And what else should be cleaned up? Again, if your mindset is working toward this and you're saying, okay, well, I'm just going to take one little bit at a time, which is okay. Like, that's okay. The clean eating might be one part of it. If you're like into fashion, and you say, well, I can make a change there. I can make a difference there. Mm-hmm. If you're into makeup, then you could look there and say, oh, that could be my starting point into this, because these systems are broken. They're not just, torn. They're completely broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Sorry. Wow, we're fun
rolling
tonight.
Yeah.
Huh? We're just sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
This was meant to be a fun chat, but it gets pretty serious pretty quickly. Okay, what are symptoms, signs of toxicity or a high toxic load?
Yeah, so I thought that this would, for the people who are like, do I have symptoms? Do I need to clean up any of these areas of their life that we have been talking about? And so if somebody is tired, and you don't have to have all of these, you could have a couple of them or just one of them, and it might just be like, dig a little bit deeper into your own history and talk with your doctor. But fatigue, headaches, joint pain, mood issues like
that's a big one.
Depression and anxiety.
Yeah, that's huge.
And constipation. If you're not moving your bowels, then you are, that toxic matter is sticking in there, possibly getting reabsorbed. So those are just a few things to keep in mind that would give you a clue that you should be investigating your diet and lifestyle further.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And there's other things too that would be involved, I think.
Yeah.
But again, that mindset of understanding, because these could be descriptors for almost, like if you have an autoimmune condition,
True.
I mean, you check, you have all of that, And so, but then again, why did you get the autoimmune condition?
Yeah.
Why did that happen? Your system is breaking down. So I like to call these like little pats. Your body is always patting you and giving you some clues. And it's up to us to be able to read these clues. And if we continue to ignore them, then they get worse and worse and worse. So it's a situation where we have to really trust in ourselves, trust our intuition, understand what our bodies are trying to tell us, and be open to it, right? The journey that is clean eating and taking us through all of this is about being open. It's not about knowing it all. It's not about perfection.
Yeah, that's really like what you just said. I think that's absolutely true. Just to look at your body and listen to what it's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Tricks and tips for success. Okay, let's take that on.
One of my going along, and I would love your input on this too. So I'll just share a couple things that I thought about. Is going along the EMF route. It's definitely putting your phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Not having it in your room. Airplane mode disconnects the ability for it to connect to Wi-Fi. And if you really want to take it a step further, it would be even unplug your router or Yeah. So just thinking about anything that can connect to the internet, that should all go on airplane mode at night and or when you're not using it.
Totally agree.
As far as
Even just getting a case like for your phone like this,
yeah,
that is
EMF.
radiation, yeah, it protects you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that's, you just put your phone in there, that works. I also have been wearing this, it's scalar technology, and I wear that every day. So you're in my bubble right now because I think it's 6 to 10 feet as a radius around. That protects us from EMFs. It's called scalar.
Okay.
And so if you're interested, I could put you in touch with the woman that does this. Her name is Debbie, and we do. If you actually follow us on YouTube, there should be a YouTube on there for that, on my YouTube channel. So follow I Am a Clean Eater on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to go look.
Yeah. And it's nice fashion. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And it's not so big and bulky.
Right.
You gave a great comment about the person having takeout for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I too, with my husband, we hardly ever go out.
Okay.
Luckily, I'm married to an amazing cook.
Awesome.
And I'm learning myself.
Good.
So I just said like something simple as make extra food.
Mm-hmm.
When you're cooking dinner, make extra so that you have it for lunch for the next day. So you don't have to say, oh my goodness, what am I going to eat? Let me go
Meal
out there.
prepping is so important, and that's part of being organized when you go onto this, knowing what your limitations are, right? So this goes back to setting these goals up at the beginning of the year, and then them not being realistic. If you're not a cook and then you say, oh, I'm going to, start cooking, it's like without a plan, it's like, well, how are you going to do that? Like, you're just going to magically January 1st wake up and start whipping up all these like foods. It just doesn't work that way. So you have to be prepared. So yes, if you're cooking already and you enjoy cooking, then make more and have that the next day. If you don't enjoy cooking, then understand what's around you, that as a first step, maybe somebody can meal prep for you. You can buy meals.
Here at Artisan's Palette, you guys have
we have that service. We cook for a lot of people. Yeah, absolutely.
Cleaning out the pantry. So if you do have a pantry that has processed food, sugar, GMO stuff, I would get rid of that.
And that's easier said than done, because once again, if you don't have the knowledge of what you're supposed to be cleaning up, then you're looking at things and saying, oh, well, you're equating its value based on the costs that you paid for it rather than what's the return on your investment. And this is a concept that I teach in the store too, or in the class, in my online course and in the store, is, well, what is your return? You paid X amount for something and it's going to make you feel tired and constipated and cause you to do this, a cleanse and all of this, when you just don't need that, or spend maybe $1 to $2 more and get the better version of that. Now you're not in that situation. So it's understanding that mindset again.
Yeah. Along those lines, we are kind of past the prime time for social events, but there's still always social events. And so just maybe eating at home prior, having a healthy snack with you so that you don't arrive to the scene, so to say, starving and more likely to put something in your mouth that was more out of convenience and desperation rather than thinking about what's going to fuel my body.
Yeah, 100%. That goes back to being organized and understanding what you're doing. So eating before is always a great plan. You can still go to a social event and not have to eat. And if it is a family event, I mean, there's a lot of people with really large families that are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or something every single month. And it's at somebody's house. And it's like, okay, then bring a dish to share that will be a crowd pleaser, because clean eating, again, is not about deprivation and tasteless food. It's about the better version of the food. So make it, everybody can enjoy it, and you can eat off of that plate.
Yeah. And I thought a great last tip, well, before I share the last tip, anything else you'd like to share?
For
just tips and
tricks for success. I think the most important thing, which is I think my theme for tonight, is knowing your limitations. So knowing what is important to you, what your goals are, and how you're going to move forward. So if you plan on doing a diet, you have to know that that mindset is a stop and start mentality. If you're really serious and you want to make a lifestyle change, then you know that it's not seasonal eating, right? Clean eating isn't seasonal eating. It is clean eating 365. You're in the mindset of making better choices every time.
Yeah.
So that's my overall theme.
Yeah, that's great. And then last thing that I think we'll kind of wrap up with is getting your new course.
That's always a great tip.
They would learn a lot. As we've said before, I just think you're a wealth of knowledge.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I know you put a lot into that. So if anyone needs more information, more details, they're confused.
It's getfoodsmart.com.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Getfoodsmart.com. This is some of the information. It's an online self-study course. It's called getfoodsmart.com. Go onto the site, read about it, look about it. There's a lot of free resources right there. If you want to read my blogs, then that is at iamacleaneater.com. And I'll be posting my new blog this week.
How exciting.
Yes, every month I post a new blog.
Awesome. Well, this is so fun as usual.
Fun. Yes.
Next month, I was thinking it's February. And I love doing things around heart health.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of just going with the theme of February, and the American Association is about hearts and Valentine's Day. So I thought we would talk about heart health.
Okay. I think that's a great topic. I agree.
And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us in some modality.
Absolutely. And everybody that joined me on my Facebook page, I appreciate it. Everybody that watched us on Dr. Alisha's Facebook page, we appreciate it very much. We will see you. It's the third Tuesday of every month. We do a girl chat right here at Artisan's Palette. We'll see you next time.